Oh, everybody, I think that you guys should be popping in now. I am trying to figure out how to get this thing shared. If I trying to get this slide deck shareable here. Let's see. I am not sure. Pin. Can I click on this? That's annoying. Um, yeah, I'm not sure how to do it. Questions. We can see it. Yeah, I know, right? You can see it, but like I can't click through to the next slide. So it might be a very uh, un, unprofessional way to go through the slide deck, but I am not tech savvy with GoToWebinar, unfortunately. So cool. Let's see if I can figure it out real fast before we move on here. Yeah, I'm not really sure, quite honestly. I might have to just, yeah. Um, Hoping that you guys can see this if I'm sharing my screen here. I will check back in 3 slides if you guys don't see anything I'm saying. But if you guys see the presentation, please let me know. I'm just going to start rolling here, um, and hopefully it works out. But I'll check in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you guys are like can't see anything, then let me know. But we'll get started. Either way, the information is going to be great information for you guys. So in this presentation, we will talk about tripling your listings, the marketing formula of how to do that. Okay. So basically, this is all the stuff I've learned over the last 4.5 years of doing marketing in the business broker space. Um, we've spent millions of dollars on marketing for brokers, so this is all really, really good information. I've tried everything that you could possibly do to generate leads for brokers. So yeah, let's move on here. So agenda for the call, or agenda for the webinar, I should say. First is going to be understanding the biggest marketing problem that business brokers face. The second one being 3-step formula to scale your business, your brokerage quickly. Third one being best marketing channels for brokers to utilize. Then we'll talk about putting it all together, how to get started, and then questions. So this will be our agenda for the call. Also, at the end of the call, we'll have a promo offer for anyone who hasn't used our services in the past. We have a promo deal for you. We got to stay till the end, how they always say, right? So ultimately, the biggest broker marketing problem. Okay, so what is that? So 90% is roughly the amount of business brokers that when I've talked to tons of over 1,000 business brokers, ask, how did you get that deal? A majority of the time they say referrals, past clients, or maybe some sort of marketing they did in the past, or minimal inconsistent marketing that they're currently doing. Get like little dribbles of leads here and there, but nothing that's super substantial. So number 5. So this is, and I could be wrong again. I think some of you guys may have better stats than me on this, but I generally think that the average broker is doing 3, 4, 5 deals a year, every single year. 20. So this is the amount of years it takes to get enough referrals to consistently make over $1 million a year. Now, if you've been in the business for over 20 years, I'm not saying like you're not doing good if you're not making over $1 million a year, but just saying like you have like it takes a long time to build enough referrals to get to a point where you're making a lot of money just based off the referrals that you're getting. It just takes a long time. 25,000. What is this number? So this is ultimately the average number of businesses on a daily basis right now that are thinking about selling their business. Now, when we look at each individual market that you guys service, the pie is very small when you split everything up. But there is a lot of activity around, wanting to sell businesses all the time. Some random person just called me literally 10 minutes ago. I think her name was Kathy. She's looking to sell her business in Utah. So we're calling her back up to get her information and seeing if that's a good opportunity for one of our Utah brokers. So all day, it happens every single day across the nation. People are looking to sell their business. And so ultimately, how do you close more deals per year? The webinar was called How to Triple Your Listings. How do you close more deals per year? Well, ultimately, the real way to do it is you just need to talk to more business owners on a daily basis. That's it. There's no way around it. You got to talk to more business owners on a daily basis. Um, and that is how you're going to grow your brokerage. Now, why most business brokers struggle? 3 common issues that I see. So first one really being, I don't have a good system to generate me new leads. A lot of brokers just don't really know how to generate leads, don't know how the whole system of generating leads works, and are not getting a good flow of leads on a consistent basis. The second thing I always hear is I don't have enough time to follow up with leads. It's great to be busy, but you want to make sure that you create a system that the leads get followed up with, whether you do it or whoever else does it. But you can't drop the ball on following up with leads because you're too busy, because by the time you're done being busy, now you got no leads to work because you haven't followed up with them. You've had no opportunities in the back end while you've been working on your deals. It's very important to be able to set up that system. The other common issue that I see with a lot of brokers is just, I don't know the best ways to even get leads. So like, this is one of the biggest things is like, sometimes when I talk to brokers, they're also talking to 5 other different companies about lead generation. And it's like, information overload. So this webinar is going to give you guys a really, really good, I'm going to be 100% transparent about the different marketing channels and stuff to really show you what each marketing channel, which you can get out of the marketing channels. And not all marketing channels are created equal. So just because you like the marketing channel doesn't mean necessarily that that's the best way to get leads. And we'll talk about what that looks like. So here's again a client of ours, followed the system that we set up for them, got the leads flowing from our system, got 4 new listings within the first 30 days of working with us. So they got 4 new listings within 30 days. He sent me an email that said, hey, you sent me a lead on Monday. I already got the listing signed later that same week. So things can happen quickly. The biggest part of getting more, opportunities and to scale your business is just getting more leads in the door. Step 1, get more leads. So we'll talk about that in a second. So here's the 3 steps formula to quickly scale your business. Now, I kind of gave it away a second ago. Let me I want to confirm that everyone can hear me and see my screen. I'm going to go back to the go-to webinar real fast. Just want to make sure everything is good. So if you can reply or leave a comment, that'd be awesome. So thumbs up. Cool. Appreciate that. Nice. That's great. Okay. So let me kind of go back to this now. Appreciate it. So let's talk about it. So 3-step formula to scaling your brokerage. So first one is buy leads. So you can see here, I'm not saying forge for leads, try to source leads, take all your day trying to find 1 or 2 people that are looking to sell. No, I'm saying buy leads, because your time is best spent working leads, getting listings, working with buyers, and closing deals. Your time is not best spent looking around trying to find where your next opportunity is. That's not the best use of your time. So step 1 is buy leads. So let's talk about that. So you cannot grow your company, you cannot grow your brokerage without new leads coming in. You just can't. It's just not possible. You have to have a good new flow of leads coming in consistently to grow your brokerage. The second thing is they need to be warm leads. Buying a list doesn't count. Buying leads does not mean going and buying a cold list of emails or cold list of phone numbers and calling through that. That's hard work. That's brutal. Whether you're calling through that list or someone else's, that's brutal. So ultimately, when you're buying leads, you need them to be warm leads. And we'll talk about how that all looks in a second. But basically what that means is some other person or company or something is generating the lead for you and then sending it to you. They're the ones sourcing it out of the cold markets and sending it over to you. You don't want to be the one trying to reach out to the cold markets. That's just big waste of time. It takes forever to get a deal or an opportunity off a cold market. The next thing is they need to be coming in consistently. One lead every couple weeks is not enough. You can't grow your business by only getting a couple leads a month. It's just not going to work. You need, what I've found, quite honestly, is a good solid number of around 7 to 12 leads is a good number to help grow your brokerage. Obviously, you can get more than that if you have the team in place to follow up with the leads. But at a bare minimum, 7 to 12 leads a month, I found to be a good number of leads to help you get more opportunities, get more listings, and have more deals closed by the end of the year. Anything less than that, then it's kind of a, you get 4 leads and then maybe 3 out of the 4 don't answer their phone, and now you're left with 1. Leads is a numbers game, and you got to have enough leads coming in. The last one really in here about step 1 is you need to consistently invest in marketing on a monthly basis. You got to keep in mind that when it comes to leads, when it comes to marketing, there's a compounding effect. If you were able to generate 12 new opportunities month over month over month over month, and the opportunities were halfway decent, by the 12th month, that's 144 opportunities that you've been working. I mean, there's deals in there. You can easily triple your business just because of the compounded amount of leads you're getting on a monthly basis. So it's very important to be able to consistently invest in the market on a monthly basis. What I've found, because of the industry and because everything's based off commission, a lot of brokers like to jump in and out. So they'll do marketing for a few months, acquire some leads, and then pause, and then give it 3 or 6 months, and then once they get desperate again, they buy more leads, and it's just not the best way to go about it. And I'm going to show you how to streamline it, how to make it where it's more effective, how to actually be able to invest in marketing on a monthly basis. So let's talk about that. So step 2, you buy the lead, step 1. Step 2, you sell valuations or consulting. Sell some sort of front end offer to the business owners. Don't wait until the business sells to recoup your marketing expenses. This is not scalable. Now, ultimately, if you're selling enough businesses where you're having a flow of money coming in consistently, yeah, sure, it's scalable. But for most of the time, you're going 3 or 6 months without a paycheck, and you can't invest into anything because you're just waiting around until something sells. That's not a way to grow your business. That's not going to benefit you by just waiting around. And so ultimately, you need to develop a strategy where you can monetize those leads and those business owners right away, as soon as possible. Selling valuations is the easiest way to cash flow your marketing as soon as possible. So getting the leads coming in, talking to the business owners and saying, hey, first step in my whole process of helping list your business is to do a professional valuation. It's also to make sure that I know that you have actually an intent to sell your business, and we're not just going to waste our time for 12 months. And then, and then at the end of it, you're going to be like, I don't want to sell after all. So this is also a very good part of your process for you to show that the seller actually has intent in selling the business. I mean, evaluation is a very good starting point. Brokers, what we found also is that brokers that sell valuations can make over $100,000 a year just by selling the valuations, not even selling a business. So not even selling one business, just selling valuations throughout the year to the business owners they're talking to, make over $100,000 a year. So ultimately, step 2 in this process of scaling your brokerage is monetizing the front end, so it pays for your marketing. If you can pay for marketing and then recoup those or get an ROI within the next 60 to 90 days, we'll talk about it later, but it creates an unlimited scalability model. Think about this. Again, if you can make $100,000 off selling valuations in a year, how much more money would you make if you use that $100,000 for your marketing? You spend $100,000 a year on marketing. How many more listings do you think you can get? You think that you would beat your competition? Probably. You could probably do substantially more marketing than them if you had $100,000 as your budget. And so ultimately, we have to look at it that way. Now, the last step here is knowing your numbers. Again, this is very important as a broker. You got to know your numbers and what your conversion rates are and everything. So the 5 numbers that I put on here that I think that are important for you to just keep track of is always keep track of the number of leads you generate, right? Number 2 is listing appointments. 3 is valuations sold. 4 is listings generated. And then 5 is closed deals. Now, you could also count like, deals under contract and stuff, but I'm not really counting that in this example. And so let's look at the chart on the right. Um, so in this chart, this example, I'm saying that you purchased 100 leads for $10,000. You paid marketing $10,000 to generate 100 leads. Out of that 100, you got 35 listing points. Again, when it comes to leads, you have to keep in mind it's a numbers game. Like you're not going to get 100 leads and then have 90 conversations. It's just not really going to be like it's not going to really work out at that well. 100, let's say in this example, it's 100 leads and you have 35 conversations with business owners. You have 35 listing appointments. Okay. And out of those 35 listing appointments, you sell 15 valuations. So you're not even selling half of them on valuations. You're selling like 45% of the business owners that are interested in selling on valuations. Well, let's look at this. If you sold 15 valuations and you sold each valuation for $2,000, which I believe is a very low amount to sell a valuation for. I know people that are selling valuations for $3,000 or $5,000, depending on the size of business and stuff. But if you sold them for $2,000 a piece, you sold 15 of them, you would have made $30,000 off of just the valuations. So you put in $10,000 in marketing, you sell only 15 of those leads out of the 100 on valuations. You've made $30,000. You've 3x your ROI from what your initial investment of $10,000. So I batch these two. You see the different colors, right? So you have green and then you have gold. So green is cash flow, right? Cash flowing your marketing. So you just put in $10,000, you just got $30,000 back. You 3x your marketing budget. You've cash flowed your marketing. Now, when we look at actually listing and closing the business, you could almost look at this as bonus because you've already cash flowed, you already made ROI. The gold is the bonus, right? So let's say out of those 100 leads, only 5 end up actually closing out of 100. And you say $50,000 commission per each. It's a decent sized business, so you're making $250,000 off of that. I would say that's bonus because you know how things go with businesses, and sometimes deals fall through and stuff like that. Sometimes deals close in 12, 18 months. So you kind of never really know with the business, right? But you have the certainty already because you've sold these valuations. You've already made your money back and then some. And so I think it's very important as you look at scaling your brokerage that you think about it this way, because market is an extremely important part of growing your brokerage and making more money. And you have to just set it up in a way so that you can scale it. You can scale it if you're selling some front end offer valuations. You can't scale it if you have to wait every single time until a deal closes to recoup all the money that you spent. It's just a bad way to go about it. So hopefully that's a good insight for you there. Here's a client of ours who basically he was working with us for around 6 months. He had 3 listings that come through. Obviously, the bottom one is a small one, but he's potentially going to make over $500,000 just within 6 months of working with us because of the leads he got from us. So it's very important that you want to do marketing so that you can put yourself in position to get deals like this where you're going to be able to make $500,000 all of a sudden of something that you would have not thought you could do 6 months ago because you weren't investing in marketing. So ultimately, this is the marketing flywheel that I think is very important for you guys to understand, right? So step 1 is investing in marketing. You won't get anywhere until you make the investment. It's just if you can't take the first step forward and invest in marketing if you don't take the first step. So ultimately, investing in marketing is step 1. And then the investing in marketing helps you get leads. Now you sell those leads on valuations to pay for the marketing, which gives you more money for marketing, which then you invest into marketing. And you can see how this flywheel starts to come about where it's really like unlimited scalability as big as your market is, right? So as big as your market you can service, it's unlimited scalability. because you're just consistently investing in marketing because you're cash flowing and paying for your marketing. And if you're on this webinar, which only a very small segment of brokers in the industry are right now, you have a level up on all your competitors because this is not how they operate. Nobody knows this. Nobody does it this way. Like some people do, but they don't even know. Like they haven't really thought it through all the way. Like some people have do valuations, and some people do this or that. Like they're really smart. Like they set their business up for success, but they actually haven't thought through like how scalable their business model actually is because they're doing front end offers. So you seeing this in your market, you actually have a competitive advantage right now because if you follow this model and you make it work for you, it's not like a start this today, you're making, a bunch of money tomorrow. Like obviously you have to learn how to sell valuations, what to sell them for, who's the right person to do a valuation on, like get all that stuff nailed down, but it's unlimited. Like you can dominate your market because you have the marketing model that's going to work for you, and then you just scale it up. Ultimately, real fast, if you want to schedule a call with us, if you like what you've heard so far, just scan the QR code and you can schedule a call with us to learn more about how we can generate leads for your business. You could also go to the calendly.com/clientsio. In a second, I'm going to talk about the different marketing channels and what not every marketing channel is equal. So we're going to go through the marketing channels, the top 6 marketing channels. In a second here, but if you are like, hey, sounds good, I like what you're saying, you can schedule a call with us and we'll talk more about if this is right for you. Sometimes it's just not right, like your market is too small for this or that, and there's other alternatives that might work better. But ultimately, yeah, if you're interested in scheduling a call, you just click on the QR code and schedule a call, and we'd be happy to chat with you. So moving forward here, top 6 marketing channels for brokers. Okay, tried everything. These are the top 6 that actually get anything. So you may see things that I've left out. Well, that's because I left them out for a reason. But ultimately, these are the top 6 that actually work for brokers. So to start off, I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to start at number 6. I'm going to work my way up. So number 6 is LinkedIn marketing. It's the 6th best marketing channel for brokers to use. Now, why do I say that? Okay, so first off, it is one of the best professional marketing channels. I think it's one of the best there is, just because you can have your profile photo, you have a good bio, you have all this stuff. You can make it look really good. The problem really is it's not scalable. So it's just, you have your profile, but like, let's say you talk to somebody, you actually get a deal closed from LinkedIn, and you're like, oh, it's amazing, I want to make so much more money off LinkedIn. Not really. You really can't, because you can't scale your marketing on LinkedIn. Now, trust me, I've tried this in the past. I used this company that would create these fake LinkedIn profiles, and so you could scale your LinkedIn outreach. But man, LinkedIn is very smart at knowing what's fake and what's real, and they'll tell you to verify your account with a driver's license, and then it's like game over. So ultimately, you can't really scale LinkedIn outside of what the number of messages you can send out on a daily basis. You can only really have a small number of conversations daily or weekly, just because of the limitations that LinkedIn has. So my recommendation really is to use a LinkedIn automation. Just have it run for you. Like, you can get a LinkedIn automation for like $100 a month. And if you need help like pointing in the right direction for that, just let me know. But like, you literally get it going on your profile, $100 a month. You put in the target market you want to go after, and it just like sends messages all day. And how I do it, you guys, some of you guys have probably gotten messages from me. It's the LinkedIn automation. I just say, like, if you're interested in leads, book a call. And so they'll just book a call. I don't even really have to have a full-on conversation before they book a call. So like, I just try to have it where they see the messages and they just click and book a call right away. So that's what I recommend. And then just reply to anyone that messages back. Just have the automation do 90% of the work. And then if somebody responds back with a question, just you can respond back. The next one is cold calling, number 5 on the list. It is one of the easiest ways to get a business owners on the phone. You want to talk to a business owner as soon as possible, you cold call them, right? The problem with that is that it's very low conversation rate. So ideally, it sounds amazing until you have a caller call 100 businesses and you realize that like 80 to 85% of those businesses like didn't answer their phone, or you couldn't get past the gatekeeper. So it's got a very low conversation rate, and then you're banking on like those 10 business owners that you randomly were able to get a hold of that they're actually looking to sell their business. So by the time you take this big pot of business owner phone numbers and then you call through them and narrow it down, it gets into something that's extremely small. And again, I'm not a big fan of the cold markets, right? So the cold markets don't really convert as well. Again, the problem with gatekeepers, it's a big problem, especially bigger businesses. Like if you want $2, $3, $4 million plus revenue businesses that you want to go after, like, I mean, your conversion rates can be so small on cold calling. It's tough to get around gatekeepers with the larger businesses. There might even be 2 or 3 people in the way of the business owner. The other thing I don't like about cold calling is it's not super scalable. Like it is in a sense of you could hire more people to sell or to call, but you have to pay for that. Also the problem with building a big cold calling team is you're basically in the business of hiring, training, and firing. Because once you get to a certain size of callers, not every caller is going to be great, and things are going to happen. People aren't going to show up to work, to call, and so it becomes this whole thing where you actually just become a giant company where you're just hiring and firing people constantly. So, and again, the reason why I say it is because I've built cold calling companies both overseas and used ones in the U.S. as well. So I know this for a fact. This is what happens. My recommendations are really that instead of buying a list, call warmer lists that you've already built. So if you have a list of business owners that you've built over the years, just have somebody call through that list. If you have a CRM of a bunch of leads that you've gotten previously, have somebody call through that. You would be surprised how many brokers that, let's say they haven't worked with us in a while and they come back and they have a list of like 100 leads from like 2023. You'd be surprised when we call those lists how many meetings we can book with business owners. Like there's still active opportunities in there. So I recommend if you're going to call, your conversion rate is going to be so much higher if you just call warmer lists. You don't call cold lists. The next strategy is cold emailing. Number 4, right? Some people would think that cold emailing is number 1. Well, honestly, not anymore. It is a great way to connect with business owners directly. Don't get me wrong. It's the best way to get past everybody and try to hit the business owner directly. The problem is, over the years, cold emailing has got substantially harder for the business broker industry. It can still work in other industries, but in this industry, I think basically what happened was everyone realized that cold emailing was a good way to get business, and so everybody started doing it, and then the effectiveness went down across the board. When I started Clients.io, we were sending 100,000 emails a day for brokers back in 2022 and 2023. And then we saw open rates drop, reply rates drop, and ultimately just became is not sustainable anymore to generate leads that way. You're always battling Google and Outlook algorithms. So when it comes to Google and Outlook, their main goal is to keep spam and bulk email senders off of their platform. Like they're trying to help get rid of spam. And so when you're sending a bunch of emails, like they're getting more strict on, like if you get flagged for spam nowadays, once or twice, they'll just shut down your whole email account. Like you could have been building it up for months, and then one thing happens, you send a bad batch of emails to a bad, email list, and it shuts it down. And I've had this happen multiple times, even while I use the best email marketing strategists in the US, still had problems with this. Again, not super scalable in this industry just because of how much it costs nowadays to do email marketing. So my recommendations really are to just buy a list of business owner emails in your area, maybe send 100, 150 a day. Like that's it. Now, for some of you, that might sound like a lot. Cool. Do it then. But I wouldn't do more than that. And your results, you're not going to get like a bunch of people responding and be like, oh yeah, I'm looking to sell. And it's going to be like this like huge success with 100, 150 a day. But if you want to do some of this just to get more hooks in the water, then I recommend that. Number 3 is website leads. So everyone loves free leads. So organic leads are great. When they come to your website to fill out a form, it's awesome. Sometimes you see with website leads that it's a little bit of a lower conversion rate because when people are searching on websites and stuff, depending on what your website is and everything, they're kind of shopping around, right? So sometimes lower conversion rate, harder to kind of get a hold of them. Generally, our smaller businesses, I have a website that we run that has decent SEO for a couple keywords, and the things that the people that come in, it ends up being a lot of smaller businesses under $1 million in revenue. I would say majority even under 500K in revenue. And it generally takes a little bit more time to manage. You know, if you really want to build more website leads, do more SEO, you got to kind of have a good, consistent presence, good management of your website to make sure you're getting leads in. If you haven't updated your website in a long time, like it's just kind of a ticking time bomb until your website starts to go down in the rankings. So my recommendations is make sure your website is ultimately just readable for Google. I actually went through a bunch of business broker websites a while back, and majority of them had just like header problems. Now, ultimately, when it comes to SEO, one of the biggest things that you need to have in place is what is called the H1 tag. And that's basically the main title of your website. Because when Google goes to your website, it has these little bots that go through websites called spiders. They go through your websites and they look at all the pages and they see how they want to rank it on Google. It's like this whole SEO thing. But ultimately, the biggest thing to look at is your H1 tag, which is the header on your website, on your main home page. And when I went through a bunch of broker websites, they didn't have it. And again, what does that H1 tag do? Well, if the H1 tag says, sell your business Tampa, Florida, well, now it's going to start ranking you for those types of keywords when people are searching it in. If it has no correlation to anything with business brokers, then it has no idea what you really do, and it's not going to rank you as high as others that have that, sell my business Tampa, Florida as their header. So it's very important to kind of see, make sure that your headers and stuff like that are good so that Google can read it, because Google just reads text and stuff like that. So it'll go through your website kind of in an organized way to see what your website's talking about. If it feels like you have enough authority, then it'll rank you higher than others. But ultimately, just be careful, because yes, a website could look amazing. You got this great, high quality video on your homepage, but if it doesn't have like H1 tag on that video, as cool as your website looks, it's actually not going to rank as high as some crappy website, just because Google can't read your website well. So a little bit complex SEO stuff. Just make sure that if you want to go down that route, you want to get more organic search leads coming in, that you look into that, talk to an SEO person. You can talk to me. I can run an audit for you and stuff like that too. The second one on the list, Google Ads. Okay, so great way to get leads in your market. It is a higher cost per lead though, like business leads, business owners, there's a lot of people that want to work with businesses. So cost per lead is generally higher for those keywords. The other problem with Google Ads is it really only targets the searchers, not the total market. So if you look at a keyword, again, let's say sell my business Tampa, it might only be getting 40 searches a month, even though there's a whole bunch more people that are in the area that want to sell their business, just because it's based off of keywords for the most part, like searching. So you're not getting the total market. You're just getting the people that are searching on Google. Now you can obviously do a whole thing on Google where you target multiple keywords and you do this whole thing, but ultimately it's based off the search. So again, if somebody doesn't search it on Google, then you're not really going to show up or get in front of them if they're looking to sell their business. And ultimately, when it comes to Google, you need to have some skill with what you're doing. You can't just throw something up and hope that it works. That's a really good way to just throw money down the drain. You need to talk to somebody around how to get leads through Google. My recommendations really are to just run a couple different types of ads. So first off, run ads for your branding. You'll see it all the time. If you type in Best Buy or some other company on Google, you'll see that they're running ads. Even though you're trying to go to the Best Buy website, it's very clear that's what that search was for. You'll see the ads for the website, Best Buy, promo or something. They'll run ads for their own brand name, and that's because sometimes you don't show up number one for your own company. So what they're doing is they're making sure that they still show at the top of the search. So same thing for you guys. If you type in your company name, does your website show up first? Or does it show up third or fourth? You want to make sure that anytime someone searches anything closely related to your brand, that you show up. And so just running ads, running small ads for your own brand keywords is a good way to make sure that you always show up. And then local city keywords, like, sell my business in Tampa. Like, that's a good keyword that, like, if that's your market, then definitely run ads for those types of keywords, just because, again, your competitors may or may not be running ads. And so you can kind of be one step ahead of them there. The last one, and the best way to get leads, is really Facebook ads. And again, I've done all these different channels, and if something was working better than Facebook ads, we would be offering that service, because ultimately my goal as working with business brokers is, what's the best service that gets the best results for brokers right now? In the past, it was cold email, and then I had to pivot like crazy to ads and stuff like that. So things change, but Facebook ads is the best way to get consistent lead flow. Okay. It is also the lowest cost per lead compared to other platforms. It's just the lowest cost per lead. You're able to target more of the full market because you're not doing it based off search. You're doing it based off of like social media, and majority of people have social media. And you would be surprised how many old people that are looking to sell a business have Facebook. Sometimes people are surprised, oh, Facebook gets good leads. Yes, because basically almost everybody in the whole US has a Facebook, if not an Instagram as well. So you're able to target more of a market. So if you had 40 people typing in "sell my business Tampa" out of the whole population of, let's say, I have no idea, 2 million people, I have no idea. You're able to reach way more people with Facebook because majority of people have Facebook in that same market. So it's really good to kind of field the whole market. My recommendations on Facebook ads, realistically, is to just use a service like ours to help you run ads in your local market. And the reason why I'm saying this is just because of the sheer amount of money we're putting on Facebook. Like, I don't want you to like compete against us because you guys aren't spending as much money on ads as we are. Like, it's just like, if you guys put like 30 or 40 bucks a day, like, say, in Tampa, you're like, oh, I'm spending over $1,000 on Tampa, Florida. Like, trust me, we're spending more than that in the same area. So we've spent over $1 million on ads. Like, we're going to get you leads more consistently and have them be higher quality. And a lot of times what I found with brokers is just like, unless you use somebody to help you set them up, unless you use somebody to help set them up, like, they're just not going to be as like, not super high converting. Like, it takes time. Like, we probably spent $20,000 to $30,000 on Facebook ads until we really, really found the algorithm to point us in the right direction with the people we want to target. So it takes an investment. And again, like, our pricing is good enough for you to use our services instead of try to do it yourself. But I just don't recommend competing with us on the ads, just because you'll just bid up your cost per lead to a point where you're probably spending more on leads than we are to get you the leads if you used us. Like, it'd be cheaper to use us potentially. So yeah, but Facebook ads is the best way to get leads. Trust me on this, is the best way to get leads, the most consistent. Some of the things that we used to have problems with in the past was like, when you did cold email and cold calling, when you're buying lists, you'd have like list fatigue where like results would go down, and in the 3 to 6 months, you like really couldn't get that many leads anymore. Facebook and their algorithm can always find new people. Like, we're using the algorithm to help us find the right people. So again, and so when brokers use us, follow our plan, like, we're able to get them good results. So these are like 6 testimonial videos that are on our website. We just had another testimonial video come in like 2 days ago. I need to add it to the website. But these brokers have made a massive amount of money from the leads we provided them because they use the system that we helped them set up. So ultimately, you guys can screenshot this or whatever, but this is the marketing channels based off of effectiveness. Okay. And again, not all marketing channels are created equal. So like, some brokers I'll talk to and they'll say, well, I'm not a big fan of Facebook, but I want to do cold emailing. And I'm like, honestly, like, cool, but it's not going to work out well just because it doesn't really work anymore. And if it did work well, I'd be selling it. There's a reason why we're not selling that service anymore, even though I still have the team. I just kind of pivoted the team to do other stuff for us. But so this is what works. And if we do a webinar next year on this, it may change. I'm not sure. I'm just always adapting with the market, but this is the top 6 marketing channels. and in the effectiveness order, like which ones are going to work better for your business with the dollars that you have right now. And ultimately, if you're crushing Facebook ads, then move to Google ads. And if you start crushing Google ads, then move to website leads and work on your organic, and then the cold email. You could work down the list, but don't work from the bottom up, because if you have a marketing budget and you throw it into LinkedIn, it's a really good way to spend money and not get a lot of opportunities. So start at the top and work your way down. So this is kind of the DIY, like do yourself system here based on everything we talked about so far. So this is the kind of the plan of action. Like if you wanted to set this up for your business, these are the steps for you to set up. So the first one really is set up the Facebook ads to target your local market. Okay. Step 2, get leads and follow up with them. Extremely important. Step 3, sell them on the valuation. Step 4 is get the quick ROI to buy more leads. Step 5, it's basically, I'm just saying everything's compounding now, right? So you have more leads, you're getting more leads, which means you're going to get more listings and you get more closed deals. Like it's just going to compound. The more leads you get, the more listings you get, the more closed deals you get. And then look, guess what? Like once you have those more leads and more listings, like making all that money off the valuation stuff, now you're making bonus money off the commissions. Again, I look at the commission sales, selling the business as bonus money, because it's something you can't really rely on as much as you can rely on a quick front end offer. That so and then you make a bunch of money on the back end with the commissions. So you can follow that strategy, or you could really just have us help you. Now, I'm not selling the valuation on your behalf. That's going to be too complex and too complicated, but we can do the front end. Book a call with us. We can target your market that you want to go after and get you leads right away. We're already running ads in all of the US, in every single area, and especially in the big markets. So it's one of those things where we basically just tag you to whatever area that you're servicing and whatever size of business that you're looking to go after. And, you'll probably start to get some leads coming in within 2 or 3 days. Like it's happened super quickly just because of the sheer amount of spend. Like it's crazy how much we're spending on ads. But it's just because we have over 100 brokers that use us. So keep in mind, over 100 brokers use us, and they use us for a reason. So ultimately, this is kind of the last slide here. So if you want to get started, you can schedule a call with us. We are doing a webinar deal. So if you've stayed all the way to the end, how long has this been? 45 minutes. Wow. So if you stayed all the way to the end and book a call with us, we can give you a special rate on our services. So just schedule a call, and would love to chat more about you, more with you about your brokerage, and see how we can service you. Again, we're working with over 100 brokers right now, and it's for a reason. They're getting a lot of success. A lot of money has been made through our services. So ultimately, I'm ready to field some questions now. If you guys have any questions about anything when it comes to marketing, I've seen it all, and especially if it's related to the webinar, that'd be even better. And so I'm going to kind of go back to the go-to webinar now. I think that this slide will still pop up here. So let me see here. Let's see here. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, I can see questions now if you guys want to add them. That's what Phil say here. Okay, so Phil said, do Facebook ads direct sellers to the broker's Facebook page, or do you have a funnel? So the Facebook ads go to a form. So we use the Facebook forms. So how we operate everything, you guys could do this too, but I mean, you don't need to do it this way. But we do everything through this branding called Sell My Business USA. So like, you don't even really have to have a Facebook business page, because we'll still generate the leads outside of that. Generally speaking, though, you can just use a Facebook form for the ads, and just have it go there. So it doesn't really go to your Facebook page. It just goes to the form, and then you can, on the thank you page of the form, take them to your website or something. So I do it that way because it's easy. I don't like to do landing pages because it adds way too much. Now I have to see, does the header have the big, highest conversion rate? Does the picture have the highest conversion rate? It gets too complicated. Okay, so Adam said, can you give me a sense of how many brokers are clients in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Massachusetts? do you provide the same leads to more than one broker? So we don't provide the same leads to one or more brokers. It's just one lead per one broker. If the brokers are in the same area, because I get this question a lot, if the brokers are in the same area and they have the same exact targeting, then we just do like kind of a round robin, quite honestly. Like there's no way around that. So we did like a round robin. So one broker gets one lead, and the next time one comes in, it goes to the other broker. Generally speaking, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Massachusetts are not super populated with brokers that we work with. Majority of the brokers we work with, I can't say majority because we work with brokers across almost every state, but a lot of brokers we work with are in Florida, Texas, and California. Probably 40%, 45% of brokers are in those three states just because population wise and stuff like that. So not so much definitely not in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts. Honestly, we may not really even have anybody really servicing those areas, some of those areas. Okay, we got a lot of questions here. We operate in Canada. Yeah, Canada's an awesome market. Canada is great. The cost per leads in Canada are substantially cheaper than the cost per leads in the US. So if you're in Canada and you want leads, like we could crush a campaign. Every time we run a campaign in Canada, it gets a substantial amount of leads. So 100%. Okay, is Facebook, so Kent Carter said, is Facebook effective for sourcing larger deals, 5 to 10 million in range, or is it mainly for smaller businesses? Yeah, so that's a great question. So I like to look at marketing as like a pyramid, right? Pyramid. So there's more businesses at the bottom than there is at the top, right? So as you go up in revenue, it starts to really start to narrow. And so ultimately, at the 5 to 10 million mark, do we get those leads coming in? Yes. Do we get a lot of them? No, not really. Like comparatively to the $1 million businesses, let's put it this way: if I get 100 $1 million businesses, I might get 10 over 5 million. So it can work, but you have to spend a substantially more money to find them because you have to sift through a lot of different businesses to even get one that's 5 to 10 million. So it's possible, but you have to spend more. If you're in that strategy, I would have a partner that can that can work with the smaller deals, and maybe you partner up with them so that you get everything over 5 million, they get everything under 5 million, and then you're able to effectively use the marketing. Okay, time commitment it's month to month. My team is 100% performance. I don't like being that company that's like sign a 3 to 6 month contract and like let's see what happens. Like no, like everything's month to month. My team works super effectively to help communicate with you often, making sure you're getting results that you want to continue, month after month. Oh man, there's a lot of questions here. This is awesome. Last time I did this, I got one question and I was like, dang, that's it. That was sad. Okay. What revenue ranges are most of your leads? So we've averaged it out over the months. Our average lead size is like 1.1, $1.2 million in revenue. So that's our average revenue range that we get. Yeah, month to month, I mentioned that. You mentioned a special rate. What are the typical rates for how many leads? So if you go to clientsio.com/pricing, you'll see everything on our website, pricing wise and everything. How we do pricing is based off of the size of the business you want to go after. It just takes more marketing dollars to get more like bigger businesses. So that's how we've priced it accordingly. We filter the leads based off the package, which is you're buying a certain size of businesses and up. Like our starter package is like 500K revenue businesses and up. Our growth is $1 million businesses and up. So like each segment, it takes more money to get those leads. So we've priced it accordingly. Let's see here. I did an SEO audit. Yeah, right, Margot. Like exactly, yeah. So Margot is one of our clients. We have a client portal for all of our clients, and we can give you a free SEO audit, which is really cool. And it gives you a grade on your. Actually, B is pretty good. If you got a B on your website, that's pretty good. Getting an A actually, I think takes a little bit of work. We'd have to see what was wrong with, like why it got a B and not an A. But basically, Margot, if you sent me that report, if you downloaded it or something, or we can just create another one, my SEO team, the team that I have for that, can look at that, and then we can easily make your website A and make sure it runs properly and ranks better. Let's see what else here. Can you give me a? Oh, you already answered that question. In general, does it make sense to budget about 1 year to acquire 100 leads under your program? So when it comes to budgeting, think about, so first off, you got to kind of see like, okay, how much money am I making as a business broker? But also, how many deals do you want? Work backwards, like reverse engineer how much deals you want, and then that'll kind of create how many leads you should get. Ultimately, like uh, yeah, if you want to make a budget for your marketing, talk to us about that, and we can give you a realistic idea of like how many leads that would get, how many listings that would get, to based off your budget. I always say start small, get your feet wet, baby steps, and then if things are going well and you're excited, then we can start scaling everything up. We have some brokers that get like 80 to 100 leads a month. They have teams, but we can scale up. Okay, yeah, no problem, Margo. Okay, so Michael said, what do you, what do your Facebook ads look like? What expectations being set? Our ads are pretty dang simple. They're just, are you looking to sell your business? We don't do anything that's super misleading, or we also don't do anything that's like guides, like, oh, download a seller guide on selling your business. Like that's way too low intent. Everything we do is like, I'm a very direct person. Like as you saw by the webinar, like I just give you the meat and potatoes basically. I'm not trying to like put a bunch of fluff and stuff. So that's same thing with the ads. Very straight to the point. Are you looking to sell your business? And if they are, they can click on it and fill out the form. We also say, hey, are you looking to sell your business? Are you looking to sell your business? And we say like get a free valuation, or we don't say get a free valuation. We say get a valuation, see what your business is worth. So that's kind of the hook. But those are the two main things. I'm getting distracted because there's thing popping up. I missed a lot of info. Okay. So there's me recording of the webinar. You can email me, so august@clientsio.com if you want a copy of the webinar. I think it records after this, so I'll just send it over. So just let me know. Let's see what else here. Okay, Steve said, do you do all 6 channels for all your clients? I don't do all 6 because I follow the 80-20 rule. 20% of the results come, or no, sorry, 80% of the results come from 20% of the efforts. There's some marketing companies that like to like do everything, and they sell brokers on like, we'll do your social, we'll do your ads, we'll do this or that, and they ultimately just don't do good at any of it, and then so that you don't get anywhere. Ultimately, like I start with the biggest bang for your buck first, which is going to be the Facebook ads. We also offer SEO and Google management, but that's something I would say you add on to kind of the foundation of the flow that you're getting. So again, if you're interested in that, just schedule a call and we can chat about it. Let's see, any other questions? I think I kind of went through a lot of them. If you have any other questions, pop them in the chat and I will answer them. I think I got through a majority. Do you find Facebook to be the best across all types of businesses? And yeah, like for majority of business brokers, Facebook is going to be the best. When you get over 5 million, no matter what you do, it's going to be tough to find those businesses. Just it's like finding a needle in a haystack anyways. I would still say Facebook is the best. You just have to have a good like alternative resource to send the smaller leads to, or else like it's just not gonna like you're not gonna get that many leads. Let's see here. Do you have feedback from your broker clients regarding selling valuations? Ours are complimentary. Sometimes it's a waste of time, of course, but I'd be concerned that I'd scare away a legit client by asking for money. It's just a sales thing, Adam. Like you do what you want to do, but ultimately, like I like from my perspective, I like to see commitment from a business. Like if I was you, I would want to see commitment from a business owner. Like if they actually want to sell their business and they're legitimate about it, then I don't think asking for doing a paid evaluation is gonna like if they're looking to actually sell their business, getting money for a paid valuation and them saying, oh, I don't want to pay, I'm leaving, then they weren't actually that serious in selling the business. I would A/B test it. I would take a certain segment of your listing appointments and say, hey, it's a paid valuation, and see how many people sign up and see the intent of selling the business and how many you sold versus the ones where you didn't and you did it for free, and see how many of those businesses you sold from the ones you gave for free. I would make the assumption that the people that paid, showing the intent that they want to sell and paid for the valuation, would be more likely to have their business sell and go through than the people that you gave the free valuation to. I would make that, I'm making that hypothesis, but I think it's fairly accurate. Again, the reason why you want to do the paid stuff up front is to cash flow the marketing, so you don't get in this position where you're like waiting for a deal close to do marketing. Like, you should always be doing marketing. Okay, let's see here. Any other questions? I think that was the last question that came through so far from Adam. Again, the reason why I said all this stuff is just because to grow your brokerage, you have to invest into marketing. You cannot grow your brokerage without investing into marketing, and selling the valuations or selling some sort of front-end consulting or something is going to be the answer there. So you don't have to wait. So you can grow your business like on your terms. You don't have to wait on the business owner being able to sell their business and then, like, all the drama around that to go anywhere with your brokerage. Any other questions? Please feel free to drop them in. If you haven't already, please schedule a call with us. I'd love to chat with you about your brokerage and see what we can do for you. But yeah, please, I will stay here until as long as needed to answer whatever questions. This is everything I talk about anyways to brokers. So feel free to continue to add questions about anything as you wish. I'm just going to scroll here, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah. So, yeah, if there's no questions, you guys are all free to leave. But I am open for anything you guys got. All right. Yeah, no worries, Adam. Just, it's just one of those things where I'm here to help out. Like, I'm giving my input. You do your brokerage however you want, but from a marketing perspective, which is one of the main drivers of businesses, uh, this is the best way to do it. Like, you don't want to put your business in other people's hands. If you put your money in other people's hands, then you have no control. If you can control the money coming in and then just look at the commissions as like bonus money, then you have control to drive your business forward. So yeah, no problems, Royce. Yeah, George, obviously you're a client already, so just schedule a call with us. Talk to Rob about that if you need to, but schedule a call with us on the website, clientsided.com. Okay, so I got a question. How much industry-specific filtering can you do? So we can do industry-specific stuff. I always look at the campaigns as like two sides of the coin. So one side is a small geographical area servicing everything, and then the other side of the coin is a specific industry, but like nationwide. So depending on what you're going after, we have had a lot of success with people that are doing like industry specific and going after like majority of states. We actually just had a testimonial come through from a guy that we're doing property management companies across the U.S. He's crushing it because we got really specific, but we went broad with the geography. Nice. Awesome, Jeff. Thanks for booking a meeting. Appreciate that. We'll be happy to chat with you about that. No worries about that. Cool. Yeah. Love the questions, guys. These are all the questions I love to answer because they're actually very smart questions. Sometimes you just get like the random question where I think they just say it as a joke to say you respond versus actually a good question. These are good questions. I think that my webinar ends here in a minute, so we might have to jump off anyways. Do we need to provide branding and content? No, you don't. We manage everything. We run everything through Sell My Business USA. So everything's through that branding. We just send you the leads that come in the area. We do have like a custom branding thing that's an add-on, which if you're interested, we could talk about. But you just signed up, so we could talk about it with us on the onboarding. Or maybe I'm thinking about a different date, JT. I'm confused now. But yeah, just we set up everything for you. I think this webinar closes in 5 seconds, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. But if you have any questions, just book calls with us or send me an email and we'll talk further. All right, it's still going, I guess. Maybe it was just a timer. Still here. Nothing happened. Yeah, JT, no worries. We manage everything for you. Where am I located? So team is remote. I'm based out of Southern California. But my operations guy Rob's in Canada. My sales guys in Jacksonville, Florida. My marketing managers in Central California. So we're kind of all over the place. But we service clients. We service brokers wherever. You're literally on Main Street and Jamboree. That's literally you are within. I could throw a ball and hit your window probably. I'm on Von Carmen and campus by the airport. It's crazy. Any other questions? Seems like we still have 20 people in this chat. So fair game for any 20 of you guys if you guys have anything. See. Yeah, again, if you guys have any questions, you can email me, august@clientsio.com. Yeah, start asking me questions totally unrelated. Um, I don't know, man. I'm not super big into football. I think he said he was thinking about retiring or something, and then he I don't know. Not now. If you ask me about golf, that's another story. I can go super deep with that. Football, I'm just an avid viewer. Yeah, no worries, JT. Thanks for hopping in, and hopefully you learned something. Cool. I'm gonna give it like another minute. Got 11 people still in here. I don't know if I made them all bored and they fell asleep and just haven't jumped off yet. But I'll give it another minute here. Then I'm gonna close it out. All right, cool. I'll see you guys. Thanks for listening, everybody. And again, you can email me August, like the month, at clientsio.com, or you can schedule a call, scan here, or go to calendly.com/clientsio. We'll talk further. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. And again, I really appreciate you guys jumping on the webinar. And if you need any help with marketing, please just let us know. Thank you. Bye.